Hey guys, this is the Social Studies Middle Colony slideshow, and we'll be filming it on a desk like this one, and we will have our slides printed out on pieces of paper, and we'll use these for our video. We'll be going through the political, economic, religious, and social aspects of each colony, and you need to be taking notes during this.
All right, class, this is Mr. Kopus, so let's go through the Southern Colonies. First off, the Southern Colonies, you've already done some things with these, are Maryland, Virginia, North Carolina, South Carolina, and Georgia. Let's talk about the geography of the Southern Colonies first. They had very fertile soils, long growing seasons for growing great products like tobacco. Another great product in the Southern Colonies was indigo. And indigo is actually what makes your blue jeans blue. You can see this kind of color. And when that's put into dye, it dyes your blue jeans blue. And lastly, cotton. And cotton's going to come in later once the cotton gin makes it profitable. It's kind of hard to separate the cotton from the seed in the beginning. The furthest north of the Southern Colonies is the colony of Maryland. And Maryland, the capital of Maryland is Baltimore in this day and age. And the reason is because of Lord Baltimore. And no, not Lord Voldemort. Okay, Lord Baltimore. Lord Baltimore is a guy from England, and he's a lord, and he's a Catholic. And so he founds Maryland for Catholics as a refuge for Catholics to come and to have safety from the persecution they were facing in England. Moving south, we come to Virginia. We see Virginia is very big here, because today there is Virginia and West Virginia, and it broke off in the Civil War because the West Virginians out here in the Appalachian Mountains did not own slaves, and they did not want to be involved in basically a war about slavery. Let's talk just a second about religion in the rest of the colonies. We said that Catholics were in Maryland. Anglicans or Episcopalians were throughout the rest of the Southern Colonies. It was heavily Anglican, sometimes called Episcopalian. Virginia, of course, is home to Jamestown, and this is James Fort at Jamestown on the James River. Wow, they were really creative. Obviously sucking up to King James. We talked about this lady, Pocahontas. This is her picture painted when she went to England with her husband, John Rolfe. So Pocahontas, important link between the settlers and the Native Americans. Her husband, John Rolfe, started to grow tobacco, and once tobacco came in, Jamestown really took off and became a profitable colony. In fact, it's going to be one of the biggest and most powerful of the colonies. Headed south, we come to North Carolina, and it's going to grow indigo, rice, tobacco. Not heavily populated, not a lot of people living there. South Carolina, also another economic colony. And so if you just remember here, the economics are very important. Some of these founded for economics. Looking back, we have religious reasons for Maryland as well. And lastly, we come to a social founded reason, and that's going to be Georgia. And so Georgia, the furthest south of the Southern Colonies, and the reason it was founded was for social reasons because of debtors. And this is a guy in a debtor's prison. If you were in England, you couldn't pay your debts. They put you in jail, which made it even harder to pay your debts. And so a guy by the name of James Oglethorpe got permission from the king to let people out of jail and to start a colony of those debtors. And so he started the colony of Georgia. It's one of the last ones, started in really about 1732, so only about 45 years before the American Revolution. And so lastly, we need to mention that the Southern Colonies relied heavily on slavery, and thousands, if not by the end, over 1 million Africans were brought to the American colonies and forced into slavery to work the indigo, tobacco, and cotton plantations. So there were also thousands and eventually millions of enslaved African Americans. Okay, hope you did a good job filling out your note-taking planner, and you're going to be making one of these videos pretty soon. So thank you.